What's happening, everyone? Before this next leg of podcast show starts, this is a reminder to you not to be a minge bag. Go over to Patreon, sign up for £1 a week and take advantage of all the Patreon perks. It is the Patreon that pays. We have a betting show on a Saturday, which the postman here is picking winners every single week.
Yeah, the betting show comes out Saturday mornings, covers UFC and boxing, footy when we're in the footy season. But yeah, we're winning on a weekly basis. I can't remember the last week we didn't find some sort of winner. So yeah, as Andy says, don't be a minge bag, come and get involved. And as I say, it's one of the best communities that you could be a part of, isn't it?
It's a belter. As well as the betting show on a Wednesday, me and Jord have a chat. That's where you might have seen on our Insta Reels about crocs, about harpooning people at the end of the night, all that kind of chat that goes on. And even better, every single Wednesday we do a raffle draw, and our sponsors Montrex give £100 gift voucher away just for being on Patreon. No better time to join. There's 30 plus episodes already that you can go back and watch. Again, no better time. Get involved. Don't be a minge bag. £1 a week, and we'll see you there.
Right, let's go. We don't have to do the professional one for this, I don't think.
Do we not? This is going to go out on Monday though, isn't it?
Yeah, should we give them the professional income, yeah?
Yeah, got it, lad.
I'm in the hot seat today.
It's me, Jordan Neal.
It's me, Andy Grant. Drum roll.
Oh shit.
We've got the OG in the house.
Oh no, I'm not the
The
OG.
Legend Podcast co-founder, Mr. Tom Wickstead.
How the devil is everybody?
Mate,
Wow.
people will be happy to see you back, lad.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while, isn't it? So like last time, I think the last episode we did was would have been like September 2021.
Yeah,
just before I went to the US.
We were blotto in that beer garden, weren't we? And then coming here and recording.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So, mate,
it's changed. Yeah, lots.
Can we just dispel the rumour that we didn't fall out? We should.
Yeah,
do
we
that
definitely didn't fall out. Jesus.
People think that I've ousted you. People think that fucking mate. So what I will say, a funny story of the day was so we were speaking about conspiracy theories, and there's a conspiracy you might have heard about Liverpool players all being asthmatic.
Yeah, I've heard
so
that.
Anyway, we touched on it, and someone's clipped up the clip of it, and it went half viral, and people had messaging me going like, why is Andy Grant talking all these rumours? And I was just reading an article that I read, and then someone quote retweeted and was like, he's a rat, he's this, he's that, whatever. And then thankfully someone tried to defend me, say actually, you know, he's a nice lad or whatever. And someone went, nah, he fucked off that Tom Wickstead on the podcast as a rat.
What? I wonder where people get this idea, but yeah. I think because it was so quick, maybe because it was like I went to the US and then obviously got a new job, and then it was so hard work. You guys know how much effort goes into doing something like this. Yeah. There's, you know, and you guys are doing now, what is it? So you got Monday, you do the show, then
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Fuck it.
4 shows.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is a lot of work. As much as people think it's fun and it's great, and it is fun, and you know you wouldn't change it, would you? Obviously, but it's a lot of time, and like I think people when they just watch, they think, why the fuck aren't you there? You know what I mean? Like, why have you got anything else going on?
Every week, where's Tom? Where's Tom? Where's Tom? In the end, we had to stop answering because it was like, for people who do listen every week.
Is that for God's sake?
Like,
leave Tom out of it.
Yeah.
There he is again.
To be fair, we had a quiz last night, which was really good. And I mentioned to a few people that you were on today and they were made up, so
oh good.
I'm sure this will be well received.
Yeah.
Like,
so what have you been doing then?
Time's flown, isn't it? I can't really say what.
Obviously, you had your little girl.
Yeah. That's going incredibly well. I went to the US, didn't I? Like back in October, and it was all a bit of a crazy time because I was getting a new job and went over to the US with work, and I mean that was brilliant. I mean that is one place when I was there, and I'm really considering this. I've asked my wife numerous times, and I'm like trying to slowly I'd love to live in the US, I really would. I think the country is fantastic, regardless of politics and stuff like that, because you can go on about all that all day. That is one place I'd love to live, the US. So,
whereabouts is like the office or where you would work? Or
I'd probably, I like Florida. I'd love to low taxes. I don't think there's no actual income tax there.
Is there not?
No, I think it's one of the states. You have to pay, there's no state income tax, there's federal tax, but... Yeah. So yeah, I went to the US, and that was brilliant. Went to Nashville, Tennessee. That was fucking wicked. Where else here? Boston. Boston was cool. New York. Not a big fan of New York. And then Indiana, Kentucky, Atlanta. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it was such a cool trip.
So was this all with your new job?
All with my new job, yeah. And then obviously with all that going on, you know, I'd work, the daughter, and obviously you know how much time this takes off. Do you remember the amount of times, on like a Sunday, I'd be like, right, I've got to do this, got to do that, I've got to edit the podcast, and then you've got to watch it all back, and it takes so much time, you know. So, yeah, and then from there, just been working.
So what is it you're doing now?
So I work for a company called Untitled Technologies. So we manufacture instrumentation for laboratories, that sort of thing. So been doing that since sort of November, December time. Yeah, it's going really well.
Enjoying it, yeah?
Yeah, enjoying it. And then obviously, so I literally, I think what probably didn't help is I quit social media since last October. I've been dipping myself back into it occasionally, as and when. So like with some of the videos I've been doing recently and stuff like that. I was going to ask you about that,
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for.
Because you done it. You just said, listen, I'm going to come off social media. Yeah. You done a last Instagram post, didn't you, saying I'm just going to do a little hiatus.
Sabbatical.
Do
you know what? It was... so now when I post things, I was saying to you before, I download Instagram, post it, and then delete it. And then I made like a little bit of a video about some of the things about social media, which we can talk about. Everyone, without meaning to, rabbit on about social media, it sounds like a broken record because everyone talks about how bad social media is. But like I made a little video about 4 points, which was the first one being how social media's changed. So if you wind yourself back to when Facebook was made in, Mark Zuckerberg made it in Harvard University, and it was for university students to connect and stuff like that. And it was very community driven. So like you wind back time to when did you first get Facebook? Can you remember?
I've never had a Facebook.
Have you not?
Have you not?
Never, no.
Never.
I think I was like 21.
I think I may be the only person, in the world.
So like I got Facebook in 2009, 10, which was like, I think a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon then.
Yeah,
and it was so community driven. So there was like Facebook groups, and people used to like connect with, used to use Facebook Messenger and that sort of thing. People used to like, the amount of people who'd wish you happy birthday, and write on your wall, that happy birthday, Andy, whatever. And it was so community driven. And then that slowly, up until Instagram was created 2013, that is slowly moved from being community driven and people wishing a happy birthday and very community driven to more content driven. And that's because of advertisers, and they have to keep people on the platform. So it's weird how that evolution of social media, it's not social anymore, it's just content.
It's just me media, I find.
Yeah, exactly. So you go on TikTok's the worst for it. You go on TikTok, 99% of the stuff you'll see on there is not from friends and family or old college friends or school friends. It's just random creators, just noise in essence.
It's almost gone the opposite way, Annie, from like a community, because I think most people would now not, well, at least some people wouldn't want the close family on their Instagram or on the, because of like what you put out. You're like, this is for this world, and then my family's like, well, as you say, when it come round, it was like, I'm only here to speak to my family, or your cousins who might live in Australia or America or something like that. But it's you're right to come off it. Like we've had this discussion loads on me. It's such a dangerous place. Like
it's really hard to just completely. And the problem, I find myself sometimes slagging off when people build careers on there. You need it. It's really important. It's not all
possible for me. Like I think it's
It's not all bad, because people have made incredible businesses. Montrex, a lot of how they get their word out through social media. You for your talks is
like PTs and stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's just a balancing act between positive and negative, don't it? I mean, if we could all live in a world where you could put your motivational talk content out, or the podcast, and then you could just do what you do and then not see the negative stuff, then we'd all be happy, wouldn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just like sometimes it's like you can't go swimming without getting wet. Do you know what I mean? You have to go on there, and to be successful on there, you also have to, as you said before about getting stick about, ousting Tom from the podcast. For every positive you put in, you're probably going to take a couple of negatives out.
As soon as you put your head above the parapet, you've just got to accept, haven't you, that you're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. And Twitter's, obviously, we all know Twitter's worse, because the problem is most people, when they tweet when they're outraged, which tends to be around politics, things like that. And when people are outraged, they're at the most idiotic. Because how many times we've all been in an argument with our missus and said something that we shouldn't because we're angry. So basically you've got this parapet of everyone who's idiotic and outraged all tweeting at the same time, which that's why people relate it to like a mental asylum, Twitter, because and then you find yourself in like echo chambers as well. So you know, I follow a lot of people from Liverpool because of the podcast and stuff like that. And I think I said to you a while ago, so when there was the UK election on in December 2019, because I follow so many people in Liverpool, and without meaning to go in, obviously, well aware of Liverpool's political stance and stuff like that, I was 100% sure Jeremy Corbyn was going to get in power, because all the stuff I was seeing was like, Corbyn's got it. I'm seeing nearly hundreds of thousands of retweets saying Corbyn's got it. And what happened? Conservatives got the biggest majority that they've ever had.
I was the same, thinking, wow, you smashed it.
Yeah.
That's what it is, though. It's narrative, isn't it? Like, you used to have to be skilled to build narrative. Like, that's why so many amazing journalists from like the 70s, 80s, or even in the 90s, you had to be skilled in order to build something that was actually true or whatever. Now you don't. All you have to do now is get your 140 characters right, and you can build any narrative or any rumour or anything that you want. And I think that's terrifying.
So what was the main reason then? Was it because you were just fed up with the toxic?
Just a bit of it. And I used to like try. I was just bored of it. Just thinking, and the amount of time as well spent on it. So like, there was a survey done where the average person spends, I think it's just under 2 hours globally a day on social media. So like, if you equate that, because you have to value your time at some monetary value, don't you? Yeah. So if you value that time, I don't know, let's just for ease of use say it's say it's $50 an hour, 50 quid an hour, let's just say. So it's £100 a day you spend. So it's £3,000 a month you waste in essence. Over a year, it's 36 grand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's scary when you think about
it. It is, because every successful business person that you speak to will always say them words. You have to value your own time. Your own time has to be worth something. Yeah. And then when you... It's okay doing it in a bit, like when you go into a meeting and you go, right, I can only do 20 minutes here because I've got, my time's worth something. But when you sit on the toilet for 45 minutes and just like looking through like...
exactly, yeah.
The problem is to that though, which again I mentioned before.
You got my water, Jordan? Nice one. It is water. Yeah, don't worry, I'll move out of the way, put it down here.
What I'm guilty of makes me, sound like a shit friend though, is I think because we're so conditioned now to everyone being on social media, you don't probably text or ring people as much as you should, because you see them on social media every day and it's like, oh, Jordan's,
you know what they're
having a baby, or Tom's on holiday, or, so you probably don't go, hey mate, how's the holiday, how's the baby, because I can see what you're up to.
What you're doing
good and stuff.
I miss that, man. Like, and not that I really got to see it that much, because obviously I'm only 29, but that like having to go out your way to have friends,
to find out what your mates are up to.
Everyone's got 1,000 friends now.
Yeah,
do you know
definitely.
What I mean? Literally every single person has got.
I can't remember the last friend I texted and was like, "Hey mate, what have you been up to?"
Yeah,
because I know what all my friends are up to, because they're all on social media.
It's mad, isn't it? And then to add to that, you got like status games as well. So people play status games all the time, and it's one of the like oldest one of the oldest ways we've been able to survive is status games. So like if you wind back time to like the 13th century, the kings and queens of the country, the people who were involved in the churches, they had to play status games because you got access to food, you got access to shelter, stuff like that. So our brain hasn't really evolved properly since then. So we play status games all the time on social media. So you'll see people posting that they went to the Maldives at 21 years old with and all this stuff, Rolexes and all that stuff. And the problem with status games is that it's a zero-sum game, meaning there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. So like it's a bit like football, isn't it? It has to be whoever wins the Champions League, there has to be a loser. So that's another big problem. Yeah. So I to be honest, when people say how was it, I was like, I'm not like. First of all, I'm not a millionaire because of it. So
how long did you come off it for completely?
Probably I think bang on 6 months. I mean, I'm still off it now. So I when I post some videos, I literally what I did try to do is unfollow everyone. So it just, when you see people who follow 0 people, but it was a ball ache because I had like 40 and it was like 1,400 go down. So probably about 6-7 months. I think the only real benefit was that detach yourself from news and nonsense. Detach yourself from Boris. I mean, me calling Boris a cunt on Twitter doesn't help my life, does it?
One of the big old lifters.
Do you know what I mean? So you get away from all that nonsense and noise, because it's just noise, and then you just feel a bit freer,
Did you lose anyone around you, like in terms of like people, your close mates remain?
No.
Not like remained your close mates, but did people, like you were saying, did people check in or? Send you a quick text?
Not really, no.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's sad, isn't it?
I think that's the word, lad. It is sad.
Sad, really sad.
It's like, I said all the time, like, there'll be a point in my life where I won't have it. Like, you have to have it for some things like you say, but it's just, I kind of hope it dies out, but it just never will it?
No.
Because I remember people saying about, like, when there was that period where, like, Instagram replaced Facebook, didn't it? So it was like this process of there was always going to be a better one. But I feel like now, even though Facebook might become a little bit obsolete, Instagram will always be there.
But I feel like even when people do want to try and be cool and come away from it, I don't mean you when I say this, I mean sometimes when, like, you go, right, I'm going to detach now, I'm going to go travelling and stuff, you'll see all travelling photos.
Yeah. There's an urge to post them, isn't
exactly,
there?
Yeah.
Just going to get some likes.
Yeah.
I want to go detach myself, go on a fucking 6-week retreat to Bali. Oh, look at me in Bali.
Yeah, exactly.
There's loads of books about, like, the chimp paradox theory, where it's like, they say you have a chimp in your head and whatever. Like, if you're a gambler,
it's a great book. Steve something, I think, wrote it.
Steve Peters, a professor, isn't he? But it is like that thing, isn't it? It's like, you'll see something and you think, that guy fucking likes that. Like, there's something inside you, or not in us as individuals, but as people.
Yeah.
Like, get it up there.
I learned though a long time ago. Sometimes, like, when I started off the motivational speaking, I'd kind of think of, like, a really great cheesy quote and, like, a good photo of, like, me with me one leg or me on a running blade or something. I think, yeah, that'll get fucking, and then he'd post it and it does whatever. And then sometimes I'd just, like, post a photo of a fucking me dinner. And people are like, oh, it looks lovely, where's that?
There's some nice roasties.
Gets way more traction, and I'm thinking I'm trying to be all inspirational and motivational, and it just doesn't work.
People like the simple stuff.
That's how fucked up. Well, I say it all the time, mate. Some of the guests that we've had on, the example I always use was Bernard Morgan, 97-year-old D-Day veteran, unbelievable fella, and I'm thinking, wow, people need to hear this conversation. What a treasure he is. He's still with us. Wow. Gets X amount of downloads. The other week, we was asked, what's your meal deal? We talk about that. Boom.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Way more. And I'm like, why are people more interested to know what fucking crisp I'm getting from Tesco's when we've got a 97-year-old D-Day veteran here? And that's what pisses me off about society and social media.
And then it's a perpetuating cycle where you go, well, let's not get the next Bernard in because it didn't get the views. Let's talk about meal deals again, or let's talk. Do you know what I mean? And then you keep going.
To be honest, I actually, there's no right or wrong way of doing it, but I think it just reflects on
society, just us humans,
But I can't sit there and go, oh my god, why? Because I do it.
Yeah.
I read so much shit, like on Twitter and stuff, like. I follow certain people about, my interest in boxing and MMA, and they're just rambling shit, but I'm reading it. And, IFL TV, one of my favourite YouTube accounts, they do clickbait fucking titles, and I sit there and I watch the video for 8 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we all say it's mad, but we're all fucking digesting it. One way or another, we're digesting it, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. And I asked on that point, I asked my missus, I go, what did you see on social media yesterday? You can't remember. Yeah. Even though you spent 2 hours. Like, can you remember what you saw on social media yesterday?
No.
Can I?
No, probably not.
It's just short-term memory.
It's mad, isn't it?
So did your missus come off on it?
No, she didn't know. She occasionally would. Mate, I went in. So remember back in December 2021, this whole mask thing kicked off again, didn't it? Where you had to wear a mask. So I didn't watch any news, nothing. All my WhatsApp groups are muted anyway, so I'm not getting notified about things. I walked into a shop without a mask on, and the guy said, "You got to wear a mask," and I went, "Yeah, but we stopped it." He was like, "No, it's." It was weird how I completely hadn't seen the news and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I completely forgot that.
So you made a video about all this, didn't you? So you got your YouTube channel doing bits.
Yeah. So listen, a lot like you boys. There's something, I have to have some sort of content thing that I really enjoy. Podcasting, just, like creating something from nothing and then putting it out there. So I do a few things on YouTube, nothing crazy. And obviously I started this new sort of I'd call it like an interview series sort of thing, where I've done park life, I've done Stonehenge, summer solstice, I've done a UFO conference in Blackpool, and I'm trying with a swinging convention. and there's a few other, and it's basically what I really enjoy is like the fringes of society, like, you know, the sort of fringes of Part Life wasn't really that, it was more like a trial sort of thing. So Stonehenge, I think you might have seen the video or whatever.
Brilliant.
Mate, the fucking fella in the Tottenham top, I said to you before, I don't know how many times I was laughing me at we're fucked.
It was so funny.
It was, it was quality.
So what's it called? Just watch it quickly.
So so it's called Too Many Questions, Very Few Answers.
That's what the YouTube channel is called.
So anyone can search. You should. You're more than welcome to put it on your thing if you want.
Yeah.
If you want it, yeah. Won't charge you.
So
yeah. See how we go.
So what was the idea then? Just
I find a bit like podcasting. Just want to talk to interesting people, and it's funny how when you put a microphone and a camera into someone's face and start just say, you know, what do you want to get off your chest? People just talk, and they talk just the most, and they could, like Louis Theroux does this really well, where the silence will just keep people talking, and he says it's like the toddler nod, where you just keep slowly nodding, not over, you just keep nodding, and then people just keep talking nonsense, just mental stuff. So the UFO conference was probably the best one, which I'm just trying to get time to edit at the moment, of people. Like one guy straight away said, this 25-foot craft came over me. I got taken up. Next minute, I'm in this different fucking realm. Just mad. The fringes of society, like those sort of conferences, just really like fascinate me. So I'm just going to go to different places like that.
And just purely for your own hobby, I
just find it so funny when I'm going back over the thing.
It was good, the Instagram ones I've seen, brilliant.
Yeah, they're good. Part Life was all right. Problem with Part Life, it's got an air of like it's all about to kick off at one point. Do you know what I mean? Tension. Yeah. I mean, Stonehenge was so cool. Everyone was so. You went Glastonbury. Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Best 4 days ever.
Yeah. Amazing. I've never been. I'd love to go.
It was amazing. I was severely depressed the week after.
Were you? Yeah. People always say I can't believe how big it is as well.
It's the size of Wigan, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. I made you walk. My stump was battered by the end of it, walking around. But
I'm just too lazy for that, man. I just find a spot that I like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always Glastonbury, like that one corner I was in was unreal.
It's like that though. It's probably the opposite of what you say in Park Life. It's like when you walk through the gate, it's like everyone has left the problems at the door.
Yeah.
And for 4 days, I didn't see any police, no stewards, just good vibes all around.
Yeah.
So the world needs so many more fucking places like that.
Yeah.
You think like 200,000-300,000 people, and there's hardly any stewards,
and no
police
trouble.
presence, no trouble. I mean, I'm sure there probably was.
Yeah.
One of the last remaining places where no one's divided, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere now without some sort of division.
Yeah.
Where I know back in the day the division was like segregation on colour, but now it's like literally any of your beliefs, someone will be have the absolute opposite.
Yeah.
We could go for a pint in a pub now, and there'd be someone over the other side. If we were talking about something, they would like vehemently disagree. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and there's no neat places like Glastonbury.
Glasgow was great, like.
And everyone's so. I think it's it's also the type, like at Stonehenge, there was people there who were just, very hippie-ish, and that it just brings such like an energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really cool sort of. And I feel like sometimes some hippies just confused just wanting to get off the nut with psychedelics is like that sort of like vibe. Do you know what I mean? It's like I really enjoy mushrooms, but I enjoy like
I enjoy doing it. It's a way to do it.
That is 100% a thing. People think we want to be spiritual and like connect or like meditate and sit on the beach, and that is just another way of going.
I want to get off my nut.
It's like, if I can get off my barnet on these, I will accept being put in that part of his society. Do you know what I mean? I will tell everyone I'm spiritual and that I just love life if you just let me get off my nut.
Yeah.
What did they call it? The Scouse what? There was like a thing.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, there's like a thing, or like the Scousers on the beach.
It was when everyone was getting in Crosby when it was raining.
Yeah. No, but they called them the Scouse something.
Oh, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Comes to me in a minute.
But
that is 100%. You know what? Like made me like push back against that. And I know a few people who are nice people and fair play, but a few of them that I knew that were going were just not nice people. who were dickheads who just loved getting off the barnet every weekend.
Just covered it with like...
And then we're just like, oh yeah, man, I'm just going down the beach and watching the sunset.
Yeah.
It's like the violence the violence I caused on Slater Street on Saturday will be immediately taken away.
Yeah.
I just go to Crosby at 5 o'clock on Monday morning.
Clenching my Friday night sins with this fucking Monday morning sunrise.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Cocaine doesn't have that sort of element though, does it? Do you know what I mean?
No. What did you think? Was there some characters at Stonehenge?
What did I think of?
Yeah, like the characters there. Because a few of the videos is fuck me, mate. There's some.
Yeah,
how you're keeping a straight face?
I don't know either.
It's the sage for me, you know, like the burning, like everyone's just like burning random shit. I just love it.
There was one where you kept on saying like, but why, or how or something you said, and he was going. You think he said like, why am I here or something? Why are you here?
Like, what was it?
Why? And he's just going.
Oh no, that was it. What does the headdress? So he had like a headdress on. What does the headdress represent? Or what's going on? And he was like, it's meant to be made. It's a druids and pagans, and it's meant to be made out of oak, but we've made ours out of sycamore. And then I said, well, what does it represent? And he was like, humanity's bond with nature. And then I went, well, what is that bond? And he went, I don't really know, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know, but I'm flying.
There is so many people. I mean, you probably saw it at Glastonbury. That means to repeat ourselves, but that's what I love about some people. Just they've no idea why they're there. They just there's something about that they want to take mushrooms, they want to take LSD, and that's sort of a good cover for it. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man.
It's just like recycled information, and like someone said to him, wear this because it's like humanity and nature together. He's like, sound, and then someone's asked him, and then when you actually get it, he's like, I don't fucking know, dude. And
people throw at Stonehenge, the summer solstice thing, people were throwing big vocabulary words out like vibrations, celestial vibrations, geometry, all this mad stuff that if you really started to drill down and ask them, they don't really know themselves. Yeah, they're just there because...
What I always remember when all that beach stuff was going on down at Crosby, I remember saying to someone, are you going down there? And he said, no, and he went, it's a bit too culty for me. I was like, nah, is it? And then he asked me questions, and he was like, why? And I was like, listen, I don't know. I went down once to see what it was like, and not really for me. And he said, though, he went, right, answer me honestly. He said, at a point in that, if they'd cut his finger and told everyone to like cut the finger and everyone hold hands and, would you have done it? Probably, yeah. Because it was like at the time when I was doing it, I mean, we went together.
You said that to you?
To be fair, on that point, I really enjoyed it. I think it was fantastic, and I came away from that feeling. I think it was just cleansed. I had a lot of vibrations, good vibrations, but I think it was the cold water what did it for me. Yeah, when you just go in the cold, there was nothing. There was no higher power. It was just
the getting up and going into freezing cold water at 5 a.m. There is something about that which goes fucking hell. Like, I'm ready for my day. Yeah, 100%. And I'm not knocking anyone who goes there and gets other things from it, but I just felt that like I did get swept up with it at the time, and that day was like wow. That if someone had said, "Oh right, let's all just cut our fingers and mix blood and hold hands," probably would have done it. Yeah. And it's like that's when you're getting sucked into the whole culty thing.
I don't think you can really deny the impact of cold water therapy. I don't think that was the issue, was it? It was like that's the cool part of it. That works. Proving that it works. It was just the whole thing of like, And
I'm not knocking anyone, but I was like, seeing something, I'm going, you're a knobhead. Yeah. Like, I know you as a person. You are not
You
this
are a violent criminal. You hear?
You hear?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's how easy is it to get swept away and stuff.
Massively.
Yeah. So like when you mentioned before, when there's like a general election on, it's like everyone's got this opinion about it, haven't they? And they're like, someone will come out with some fucking random backbencher and he's like, he should be at the front. Yeah. It's like, and then if you would like double down on it and you'd say, well, like, what bad air policies would mean, and they're like, don't know. Do you know what I mean? But it's just so easy to get swept with the current, isn't it? And be like, I care so much about this. Yeah. When in reality, you probably don't.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so, that again, like we said the word a few times, that's scary, man.
Yeah, 100%.
What was the? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, how have you boys been anyway?
Good. So we've been. We kind of slowed down on the guests because the point we made before, we just found that, like when me and you did, just speaking amongst ourselves, having a bit of a laugh, kind of a no holds bar chat, asking the patrons, people who support us on Patreons, to, you know, give us suggestions, and I had a better laugh doing that.
Yeah.
So try to grow that a bit more, but which is mean putting in extra shows. Love doing the Sportscast, don't we?
Yeah, the Sportscast is like 60 episodes old now. So
it's mad, that, isn't it?
It's like,
how quickly it's 4 years in February since the podcast was like crazy. How quick's that gone?
Mad. Yeah, so the Sportscast on a Friday, that's the one that love just talking to your mate about the sport that's going on this week. You know, footy, boxing, UFC, tennis this week. And then Joe does a betting show, or we both do a betting show on a Saturday. Just giving our tips out, so that's going really well. And
can you see how much you're up in a year, like on your accounts?
Yeah, but
like
on the betting one,
on the betting side,
what we do on the betting show, because there's this mad, like, it's a bit like a cult, innit? Everyone can be a tipster. Everyone can tell you, you know, this is going to win, this is going to win.
Yeah.
But what we want to do with the betting show, which what we do, is we do research on it. So, like, the shows are half an hour long, and it's about exactly why we're doing it, what you've watched and stuff. But we wanted to introduce, like, all along with, like, the gamble responsibly stuff, like strategies and how to manage your money when you're doing betting, and sort of, like, you know, how to look, like, if you've had a good month, put money away or withdraw money, or
like risk management.
But just keep an eye on, you know, your spikes, your up and down. That's what we want to do with it. We wanted to try and make it more like, to get this taboo away from, like, just betting randomly, and like, because betting is kind of like demonized by a lot of people. But if you do it properly and you put the hours in, it can be a decent. It can be a great pastime. Yeah. And two, you can make a bit of money out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just got this reputation of being, like, seedy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Paul Mason on a great podcast on it, and he talks about his gambling addiction. And he said that, you know, if you had a mate who come in the booze on a Sunday, and they were like, fucking hell, he's been out Friday, Saturday, not been home for 2 days, been shagging all kinds, like, he's on the ale again, fucking legend, wow. He'd be like one of the boys, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas if he was standing there on a Sunday and you went, he's just blew 50 grand there, you'd think you are a dickhead, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
They're both the fucking same.
Yeah.
So,
how is it? Because are you just looking for undervalued?
Mate, he's a fucking nerd when it comes to
UFC.
Yeah.
So basically,
he's a nerd.
What I do is, like, I put in, like, hours of watching UFC and boxing for the weekend's cards, and I think in the majority of cases I can price it up better than the bookies, just based because I think I know more than them, which is quite egotistical, but I do kind of think I do. So anytime I can find somewhere where, like, I think they've priced it up wrong, that's an opportunity. Like, it would be in any sort of investment you wanted to do.
Well, yeah, like if a company's undervalued in the stock market,
So there's that, and then there's also just stuff like, I think because of what I watch, that I can predict the outcome, which, you know, you can't do every time. But as long as I explain exactly why I think this is the most probable outcome, and then we just say to people all the time, like, you know, I'll tell them exactly what I'm betting on, why you should, you know, maybe just small risk on this, slightly larger risk on that. But it's just about making it more professional, and then obviously putting in the hours, but taking away from the, like, you know, pick the number 4 horse, and it's all of our favourite number, innit? Come on.
What you always say as well, like, it might pay for you, you know, your takeaway on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
We're not telling you to pay your mortgage off. It's just like, listen, I might pay for a few beers and a pizza.
A tenner.
Someone messaged in the other week, didn't they? And they bought like a bouncy castle for the kids' party or something like that.
That's cool.
So that's the sort of community we want to build, where people are educating themselves a bit more, so that when they're not betting with us, they might just do it in a more responsible way.
Yeah.
They might not just, you know, they might not deposit 200 quid on a Saturday afternoon and just watch ITV Racing and blow the whole thing. They might just think about it a bit more, because then, one, you can win people a bit more money, but two, you can educate people a bit on something that, you know, most people think they know loads about, but they actually don't. So
what are the bookies do? Do the bookies have the Jaws of the world doing that, or is it all complete, all data in it, or is it all computerized?
No, bookies will have what they call traders. So traders will price up, basically.
And they'll have someone who's just purely UFC?
No, they'll probably have generalised traders, which is why people like me who think they know more can find places to win.
I can find those undervalued.
Because if you think, if there's a UFC card, right, there's a UFC card this weekend, this will go out later than that, but it's in Long Island. A trader will probably go, right, well, this you know, this fucking the US the Scottish Open's on the golf. I need to price that up. Eventually it gets dropped down, and then they'll watch a fight on the prelims or whatever, and they go, he should be that odds. He kind of might be, but then it comes down to, like, there's like implied probability and all that stuff, and it's just like, with them marginal sports, they do get pushed down a little bit, and if you're a nerd, you can find a way to.
Like that back in the day, I always remember my dad used to say, it probably doesn't happen anymore, but anytime there was like a really big race meeting on that everyone was focused on, sometimes you get like great prices in some of the other races because no one's really...
Yeah. But that's where the boom of exchanges came in, where it's like peer-to-peer betting. It's because people can set their own odds based on their understanding of a singular sport. But I think the most of the reason people will never make money gambling is, one, because they're too impulsive, two, they got no discipline, and three, they just think they know everything. You can't win on gambling unless you put in the hours in the same way you do a job. You just can't. And like that's why there's about 500 million bookies. You can sign up to any one of them and they'll let you, because they know over time there's a couple of people who put hours in, there's tens of thousands of people who won't.
That won't,
you know what I mean? So for every win they give a person me, every win they give a person like me, they get fucking 10,000 people losing.
Would you ever set up? You should set up your own like bookies.
No, well, like try and give odds out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to beat them first.
Well,
yeah. It's been, you know what, and it just gave us a different angle as well with the podcast, because like we say, any idiot can just fucking start a podcast and start trying to contact cool people and talk to them, which is great, and that's what we've done and we will continue to do. But it was just nice to go, you know what, on a Wednesday there'll just be me and you, we'll talk shite. On a Friday it'll just be me and you again, and we'll talk about sport. Yeah. Then Saturday we'll say what we're going to have a little bet on. It's just mixed it up.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to give you the range of questions we get on these Patreon shows.
It's funny, you know.
Like,
really?
This is, honest to God, this week. So the first one, I need to find the first one just because of the disparity between the first two questions. But yeah.
So people send in questions.
Yeah. So people send in questions. So there's a post that goes out like maybe 24, 48 hours before. And so one of them was that we put out in the quiz last night. If you could suck your own dick, would it feel like sucking dick or getting your dick sucked? So that's just. But this is the disparity between the level of questions. First question: when you go to bed, do you brush your teeth then have a piss, or have a piss then brush your teeth? So we spent 15 minutes going over our nightly routines and whether it was exclusive. The next question down: should assisted suicide be legal? And that's not laughing matter, but that's how quick it
just turn. Mate, it makes you forget Bernard. You know, this is the sort of content people want to. So
we just spend an hour answering questions like that.
It's mad, isn't it?
A good laugh.
Honest to God.
How many questions you like?
Oh, we get 40, 50.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, really? Yeah. Mate, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, proper little community now on that page.
Yeah, 100%. And that's
what we've started doing as well. Is rather than with the sponsors we've got working with us, they give us raffle prizes. So just by being a Patreon, you get entered into a raffle every week.
Right, yeah.
So for example, last couple of weeks we give away £100 vouchers every week.
For Montrex.
For Montrex, yeah.
So Andy just does a little spin on his phone and then the person gets a code.
That's a good idea.
Spends 100 quid on it. So everything we're doing, we're pumping back into there, and although that's helping the podcast grow, it's sort of like it's become a two-way street rather than, you know, us going to people, just give us £4 a month, you like the podcast, don't you? It's like,
please.
Give us £4 a month, we give you the shows, you're involved in the show.
Yeah.
You know, there's none of this like, what I find with some podcasts, it's like this and this, so it's like listener, people who create the show, and it's like, you know, this sort of like celebrity godlike figure.
Yeah.
Whereas I just think there's a gap to like build a community like where you're all level. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Like, definitely, mate.
There's none of, so they basically dictate the show, and then we try and give them stuff back as well. So in the end, £4 a no-brainer if you do enjoy it. I mean, if you hate us, like, don't pay.
The little line is the Patreon that pays.
The Patreon that pays. Yeah.
So you give us £4, we'll give you like 40 odd back.
We'll help you with assisted suicide.
Yeah.
And those
the disparity, and sometimes I try not to look at any of the questions just to try and get
it's all like ad hoc, like it's just
just on the fly. 100%. I think it's mad how when you look back at some of the episodes, you know, like I think I saw something when I was posting one of my videos, like Jamie Webster. Like, wasn't it on the day when we did our thing that he quit his job or something?
Yeah. Well, Tom who does the reels, he made I think he meant around Glastonbury, he made a reel of that moment where he said that, and he's like working with his dad or something, wasn't he?
Was he an electrician or something? Yeah.
And then
it's wild,
like,
that, isn't it?
To the little
so he come and done the pod, didn't he? Said, I think like I'll probably stop today. It's my last day.
It's insane, isn't it?
He's had a little tiny part in his journey, boys.
And then Paddy's the superstar now, isn't he?
I think we went too big too early, you know.
Do you reckon?
Do you know the one that's underappreciated? Tubes.
I think we got too many really good guests on. too early.
Yeah, but you're not at the start. You're not going to go right. I've turned him down. Maybe in 4 years. You know what I mean? You just haven't got that level of behind.
Tubes is a massive draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a.
I can't remember why we didn't film that.
No.
Because we just did the audio, didn't we?
We done him.
Went down to Sky Studios, didn't we? At like 5 a.m. Drove down.
With Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, that was wild, that wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember when I was driving your car, wasn't I? Robbie Fowler was in the back, and there was like
what the
fuck? We dropped him off at the Marriott by Heathrow Airport, and like by the Marriott in Heathrow Airport, there's like a dual carriageway either side, so like 2 lanes and 2 lanes, and I remember. It was like it said strictly no right turn, like no U-turn, and just Robbie Fowler went, Tom, just fucking swing it round there now. I'm like, okay. There was a camera up there. I was thinking, all right, I'll just turn.
Imagine that when you get pulled, you know that little box, you know when you're in a parking fine, why you should appeal it. Robbie Fowler told me to do. What the fuck would you do?
Well, I'd messaged Tubes, so I was like pally with him, and he said come down to Sky, and randomly, to be fair, I do know Fowler to speak to. And we got down there and he was there.
Yeah.
And then he was like, what are you doing afterwards? And I was like, no, I'm just driving back. He went, come for a pint. But we were driving, but I was like,
I can't say
Robbie Fowler should go for a pint. You're going for a pint.
Say no to Robbie Fowler, mate, you fucked up.
Yeah. And then there was
John Bishop.
Yeah, in your living room.
Seen a funny story of him the other day. Did you see it? On Have a Word, mate.
No.
Shout out Have a Word, like great podcast. They were saying Adam, I don't know, they were in some hotel with John Bishop or something, and they were like watching somebody's like special. So then they were in a room all watching, they were all drinking or whatever, and I think the hotel had got a bit annoyed with them being loud, and then he knocked and he said, all right, we'll calm down. Then he didn't, so they were trying to kick him out. Apparently John Bishop just said, yeah, leave it to me. So when the hotel fella knocked on the door, he just went, like, obviously a room full of fellas, just went to the door and is fucking naked. He said, what's up, mate, you alright? So I was like, John, yeah, could you just keep it down a little bit?
Hey, boss fella, you know.
Yeah.
Kept in touch with him since, like, done me a few favours. That really
nice guy. Yeah, it was mad, that wasn't it?
He's one of the few people I have.
Just turned up at our house, didn't he? Just all right, Andy, all right. Come to Bootle.
Mad, wasn't it?
That's what I just think, like, so Tubes. I don't know. I just think like.
What did we do after Tubes then? The second one.
My surgeon.
Your surgeon, yeah. At Gatwick Airport.
Yeah.
At the hotel in Gatwick Airport.
We were on the road, weren't we?
Yeah, we were flying.
Road warriors. Come on, Tom, let's go.
Remember we were going to buy a van?
yeah.
We should record from a van, like fucking secret agents.
Yeah.
We could go around and do
like the Brazzers Bang Bus, just fucking driving.
Like you two in the back, like cops. Raid.
Oh. Paddy's was quite late on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's
Paddy's was 2019 actually, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Paddy wasn't even signed to the UFC when we had
No. He was, yeah.
Okay, Johnny, Johnny.
Okay, yeah.
So Paddy and Webster, I think, were two people who we had on too early.
Yeah.
You should get Paddy back on.
Yeah, I went on his the other day. Oh, so funny, I went on his, and he didn't tell me when he was going to post it or not, and so I'm just, whatever. And someone messaged me and said, oh, mate, really enjoyed your chat on Paddy's podcast. I said, oh, nice one. So I went on to Paddy, the channel, just to see like if it was getting enjoyed or people didn't like it. And 99% of the comments were like, oh, great, really enjoyed that, boss. There's one comment going, is there anyone more boring than Andy Grant? That's the whole thing about, so I was just like, wow.
Yeah, don't read the comments.
Nice one.
Yeah,
definitely
don't read the comments.
Definitely don't read the comments.
That's the one piece of advice, isn't it?
Yeah. I watched something on YouTube. Paddy went to the F1. And what's mad is just the way that, and obviously he's been working incredibly hard, how many years, just the way it can flip a switch like that, and suddenly, 2019's not long ago, where you'd walk down any street, someone might have, a few people might have known him, probably in Liverpool, but if you went to Manchester or somewhere else, maybe not. And then everyone's coming up for him for photos. It's just insane.
Hasn't he?
Yeah.
Has he?
I think so. I just get reading between lines. When you see the people queuing up for photos, there's always someone getting in line. I think he put a thing up the other day where he was at like a festival in Liverpool, and you could see a fella literally like trying to bat the crowd off. Do you know what I mean?
You know where he got signed for Barstools? You only put me onto Barstools.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy. Yeah, he's brilliant. Dave.
He's had a bit of shit, hasn't he?
Yeah, there was a thing in Business Insider, wasn't there, about sort of some rape claims, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think he's been a bit of a... I mean, it's complete nonsense. But yeah, massive. I love Barstool. I think they're brilliant.
They've got a bookies now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Barstool
Yeah.
bookmakers,
But
So
it's-
funny, Paddy and Molly keep on throwing tips out every week in the shite.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're probably just like, who the fuck's on the card? Who's on the card?
Yeah.
But yeah.
With
I felt
Barstool,
like texting Paddy and going, lads, listen to the postman. He delivers.
he got like a 7-figure deal, didn't he, from Barstool?
Yeah.
Signed.
But I think that a lot of that's I think he made the comment, you know, I'm getting paid more outside of the octagon before he negotiated his new contract. But I think he does a lot for I mean, it's great business because, you know, every time Barstool go into any sort of networking event, you know, if you've got Paddy to go along with you and you know, mix with, you know, potential clients or whatever,
Such a nice fella, you know. So I was at a working event on Friday in Manchester, and this Polish lad comes up to me and says, "Oh, mate, from Liverpool, yeah, I'm a big fan of Paddy," and starts talking about the UFC, like loving the UFC. So I went to the toilet and I text Paddy and said, "Alright, mate, I'm standing with some fella, like absolutely loves you. Are you busy? Or can I just give you a quick FaceTime? You're gonna make this lad's day." Paddy straight away texted me back, said, yeah, give me a FaceTime. So I come out the toilet, said to this guy, I went, "Mate, come outside a minute." Went outside and I FaceTime Paddy. And Paddy was sitting there in the garden and this guy's going, "Oh my God," like
mad, isn't
made
it?
his day. So he's boss lad Paddy, like
Yeah.
really nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's got his own podcast. You went on his podcast,
It's
yeah.
called Chat and Pony.
Chat and Pony.
Yeah.
There's a big media push around. Like, I see all his vlogs and everything. There's a massive big, like...
Mate, his vlogs get some mad views, like.
Wonder
Do you know where he does it? So funny, big shout out to Liverpool Podcast Studios.
Does it there, yeah?
Yeah. So that lad, right? There was a podcast called, I think it was called the Minerva Podcast. There was a couple of lads asked me to go on it years ago, and it was an apartment block next to Sefton Park, and just some lad in his bedroom who like created a spare, like a studio in a spare room, and he was just changing the decor for every time someone came in. And I was like, fucking, that's a good idea. Fucking 2 years later, he's got his own office there in the Baltic. That's where Paddy does his. They all do them.
Oh, he just rents it out to them?
He just, well, he produces it for them.
Oh, right, that's cool. Cracking idea, that is.
Around here now, though, like where we are, like the sort of the Baltic end of Liverpool, like everything creative is just here, innit? Like, there's so many like podcast studios or like, you know, these little independent workings. You see that thing out at the back of the coffee shop? It's like a big wooden area, just like... My book publishers were based here. It is cool.
What is interesting though is, I said to him, when I went in for Paddy's, he said, he said, yours is the only podcast still going. You know, like everyone starts the podcast. And I think everyone thought, we make loads of money, we become dead famous, whatever, and then, well, it didn't.
Yeah, there's a few anomalies, like Have a Word, they've
cracked on.
They've cracked on. But yeah, if you'd have asked like 4 years ago, you know, how many subscribers do you think you'd have in 4 years? Do you know what I mean? You'd probably over-egg it, wouldn't you? You think 4 years, you know what I mean? It's a long time. We'll probably have fucking 100, but it takes such a long time, doesn't it?
That's why people fuck it off. You say it all the time. People get in for this like ideology. I'm going to be famous, or I'm going to like make loads of money from podcasting. You can one day. But if it doesn't happen often, like, do you know what I mean? You've got to graft. Is there any more like
and if anything, the forget the money and stuff like that. It's so cool having like first of all community, then like just being able to be creative and some people enjoy fucking drawing, don't they? Or having this is like a creative just outlet to.
I think we all need an outlet as well. You know, like that's why I love the Wednesday show so much, because we all have stresses in life. We all have, you know, argue with our missus, kids go mad, you know, work shit or something. I think every human being needs an outlet to just like be stupid. Do you know what I mean? Just just say shit and like
100%.
You know, not feel like, you know, something's going to come back on you or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everyone needs just like an hour or something. So just to.
We should ask Tom, because I think people were still commenting, you know, on the Patreon after we'd recorded it. We should ask a couple of Patreon questions to him.
Oh, Jesus.
Put you right in the spot.
Just while you're getting that, what do you on the Paddy thing? Because obviously you're well into UFC. What's the next? Because I'm not too clued up on it, but are they just trying to get Paddy sort of not as big fights and slowly? Is that the idea, or
not really?
I say not as big fights. Do you know what I mean? It's
so on his first contract, which was the well documented 12 to show up, 12 grand to win. He was fighting people who were on the last fight of their contract.
Right.
So whether that was officially or unofficially, if they got beat by Paddy, they got cut from the UFC. Now he's negotiated a new contract. He's now fighting sort of like, so imagine it's like 4 steps, right? So you've got like obviously entry level sort of people who are, you know, close to getting cut, gatekeepers, and then you've got what I would call the actual UFC, where the, people
superstars,
people who could genuinely hold the belt one day. And I think he's probably just moved up to that second level, so he'll probably fight like, fighters who might be, they might have like 3-0 in the UFC, but the UFC don't know whether they're going to progress or not. So Jordan Lever, who he's fighting, is a decent fighter, but because he's now getting more money, the risk will go up. So risk goes up with reward, basically.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You always say his divisionals full of killers, don't you?
Lightweight division is
like the hardest division.
So the UFC always has a top 15, which is everyone's ambition is to break the top 15. In lightweight, you could have a top 45 that could be in the top 15.
Right.
It's just like, it's that deep.
So where do you reckon he is then? Like top 40, top 30?
Yeah, he's probably like, he's in the top 50, like, but he's not close to breaking the top 15. Unless,
isn't that mad?
I'm not
it's
saying
mad, isn't it?
Ability wise, he could probably fight these guys, but it takes like time and risk, and the thing with the UFC as well, it usually takes setback. So with UFC, it's very rarely, there's very few fighters who go, and these are anomalies, by the way, you're talking like 2-3 a generation, who go bang. It's usually, and then like that.
And Conor McGregor went bang, or did he?
Pretty much,
yeah.
It's only till he ran into
like 3 or 4 fights, didn't he?
It's only till but when you generate that level of
hype,
and you got to remember the skill set when McGregor was knocking about. They were still very good. Don't get me wrong, but it was still a lot of like, I'm a stand-up fighter. Me jiu-jitsu's not that great, but like, so I'll stand and have a boxing fight with you. Whereas now you've got career mixed martial artists now. Like people who've been learning mixed martial arts since they were like fucking 5 minutes old.
Yeah.
Just ninjas. And
even Paddy, saying an interview with Paddy saying that he didn't start walking to a gym till he was 15.
Yeah, Paddy's a late starter, mate, very late. But you look at the current champion in Paddy's weight, Charles Oliveira. He's lost, I think, like 8. Like he had a massive low before he found that what worked for him, and that's the beauty of the UFC. A loss doesn't mean anything.
Is there anyone in that's done it in a similar way to Paddy, in the sense that, because he pretty much came in and then there was a massive hype over him?
I just think that's down to him, isn't
it? Just down to
very
it.
Very few made the waves he has.
Yeah.
But then, it
has been like Conor McGregor-esque, hasn't it?
Yeah. The only thing that's different is that Paddy's got us behind him. McGregor had Ireland, and like I think they've said something like 10% of all people in like Las Vegas or something were like Irish people.
Yeah, so you've got the Irish and the US kind of like mixed
like
in.
Crazy like mix of people that were all behind him.
I think Americans, and I'm like you, Tom, I absolutely love the States, but I do think Americans are a bit fucking cringy when they start like trying to latch onto a country. Like, I've fucking been out with Americans and you're like, oh, I'm a quarter Italian, quarter Irish. You're fucking not, you're American. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He definitely had that Irish pull, because I think he fought in Boston, didn't he? Where it's big Irish.
I just don't think people understand Liverpool outside of Liverpool either. Like, you see some people call us Scousers, or like not like trying to be horrible to us. They just don't understand the the sort of patriotism we have for one little place.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think with McGregor, he's always got the Ireland flag, and like it was so like everyone could get involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, if your nan's like cousin was like you met once was Irish, you were like Irish flag. Come on.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's like
he's doing well though, considering he has got the back of the country.
I think he's flying. I mean, in terms of like popularity, there's very few fighters on his level. Do you know what I mean? In terms of that, and I think the UFC noticed that. But for Paddy, I just think Paddy just needs to do Paddy. Don't worry about anything else. Just take the right fights at the right time and make your money, because the thing with combat sports is one day you're the man, next day you're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if he's making loads of money outside the octagon, then fucking make it, because no one's going to pay your bills when your career's over.
100%. Definitely, mate.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to bang him a question.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is from Jamie Ward. So obviously we already recorded the Patreon, and then a few people asked. It said, Jamie Ward said, when was the last time you made yourself look like a thick cunt in public? A few years ago, I was in a work canteen with about 50 people. A lad told me that he had a twin sister, and I laughed. Nobody else did. We then had a 10-minute argument because I never knew you could get a boy-girl twin. I was 28 when this happened.
So he made it. So he said, "I've got it."
He was having a full-blown argument, like as if you can't have a boy and a girl twin. I remember when I was a kid.
The level.
I remember when I was a kid, it was a girl, and I fancied her. was like, she's fit here.
She looked like her brother.
And then I said to my cousin, I said to my cousin, lad, you're on to her. He was like, lad, no. I went, lad, she's fit. He went, have you seen her brother? And I was like, no, like, she's a twin, look at her brother. And then look back at her. And I've seen her brother.
Oh, no,
and
yeah.
Look back at her. Like, nah,
shit.
But she was fit, but...
You'd associated that, yeah, definitely.
Making a prick yourself in public is awful, isn't it?
I probably do it on a daily basis. I'm just trying to think of one time.
Yeah, I can't think of one that I've...
Yeah, but you're intelligent, though.
I used an old card. I used an old bank card in the self-serve of Tesco. That was the worst. This card has been declined. Literally, as he shouts at you, I'm like, nah.
Big trolley full.
Yeah, no, I had like a basket, like, but I had nothing else with me.
Apple Pay on your phone?
That's why I've got Apple Pay.
It's usually just when you're drunk, isn't it? That's pretty much a lot of the times when you made...
Been fucking drunk for the last 3 days.
Andy, in the quiz last night, Andy had a little bit of a moment on the mic, and he come over to me and said, lad, I didn't make a prick of myself there, did I? But like, the horrible person I am, I don't know, you know, lad, you might stop.
What have you been doing the past 3 days? Obviously drinking.
Boozing.
I was in Albert Schloss on Friday.
In Manchester? It's brilliant, that pub.
Yeah.
That bar, isn't it? Mate, I
Albert
heard...
Hall, isn't it?
Say that again?
Albert Hall.
Albert Schloss.
Yeah, but it's next to Albert
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah,
The
yeah.
same building.
I can't remember who told me. Something like, on a really good day, on a like Friday, Saturday night in the summer, I think they pull in about 100k.
Really?
It's always booming, Albert Schloss in Manchester.
Well, they had
isn't
the
it?
Bongos Bingo on there Friday night.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I done a talk there Friday day. I was on the air with all the clients. And then Saturday, I ended up coming into town early to have breakfast with my little girl.
And just got on it.
And then when they went home, I ended up meeting up with a few friends, ended up staying on it till about 2-3 in the morning. And then Sunday had a barbecue, watched the Wimbledon final, ended up having a few beers. And then Monday we had the fucking 4 days.
4 days?
Wasn't the day before that, wasn't you had a... Lad, I think it's early, isn't that? Your Thursday, you had an awards evening, weren't you?
Fucking hell, yeah, Thursday.
5 days?
Shit.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and you're still pissed.
Do you feel alright? Do you feel fine?
Nah, I feel a bit pissed still now, you know.
Do you?
As a man who doesn't get hangovers, lad, you do well.
I know, how don't you? How do you...
I don't. You always take the piss, don't believe me. I do not get hangovers. I'm like Paddy when he goes, Scousers don't get knocked out. Andy Grant doesn't get hangovers.
I've been texting him this morning saying I just need another hour in bed though, surely that qualifies.
No, because it's sleep though. I never ever get a headache. I never like feel. It's just sleep. As long as I get 7-8 hours sleep.
I agree with that.
I drank Coke all night and I felt like I had an hangover this morning.
Was you not bevy? You said you wouldn't have a bevy, didn't you?
I had half a bottle of wine.
Are you drinking again? Because you weren't drinking, were you?
No, so I stopped in December.
Me two mates, one of them fucking give up social media, one of them give up alcohol.
Yeah.
Here's me,
you
pissed
fucking...
on every day.
But yeah, I gave up in December the 27th, then didn't drink at all until the beginning of June.
Bloody hell.
And then I probably had a couple of pints in there.
How did you find it?
Fucking best thing I've ever done.
Really, yeah?
Like, don't get me wrong, when I have a pint now, I enjoy it, but I can just leave it at a pint. Before, I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was like, probably couldn't leave it. Like, I was doing...
I think a lot of people like that, though.
Too much, like, and it was starting to affect, like, my mood.
You had, like, loads of, like, exciting things going on as well, didn't you, though?
But, like, I've got loads going on, like business-wise, work opportunities, like, you know, my family, and my missus just about to have another baby. And just, it was the one thing that was, like, if it weren't called alcohol and all my mates didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like... So,
would you have a beer most evenings then, like with food or not? Or? Yeah,
like I found myself like drinking in the house. Like when the boxing would be on, I'd get like 6 beers and like sit in the living room, drink 6 beers. Why? Like what's that bringing to my life? Do you know what I mean? And then it wasn't so much that, it was like, so I'd go out and I would have a great time and I weren't aggressive drunk or nothing like that. But then I'd go home and I wouldn't have an hangover, but my mood would be super low. Like I'd just like... You know,
I know,
And then for 2 days after, I'm just a moody bastard. So I just fucked it off. But now I think...
See, I'm a seasoned veteran. I don't get none of that.
So you know a lot of training, haven't you?
A lot of training.
I just didn't get the training in. I didn't start drinking till late, man. I didn't drink till I was like 20.
That's mad.
Really, yeah. No, like getting into nightclubs and stuff like that.
No, I used to go out sober, yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? Why? Just because of football?
Yeah. And to be honest, and it's weird, I never enjoyed it.
But I thought the social thing around foot, like it's a bit like rugby. Rugby's got a lot of like drinking culture.
That's why I started drinking, because when I was younger, and I was playing in teams with men, I could get away with being the young lad who doesn't drink. But then when I got to university and I was playing there, I couldn't, because everything's like initiations, this, and then, you know, we'd go up to Scotland and play and you'd drink all the way back. And at that point, I started thinking, what the fuck have I been missing out on? This is the best thing ever. So then from 2012 to say 2015, I was drinking big time. Like I would drink all the time, constantly. I wouldn't miss a night out. And then I reckon 2015 is where it changed, and I've done this then since.
Yeah.
So like I've had, you know, I did 6 months before. I've you know, and then I've gone on mad booze and all these and just fucking smashed it. So I'm a bit up and down with it, but now I've found a point where I'm like, you know, I had a beer with you yesterday, didn't I? And then I just parked it and then got on coke for the rest of the night. Like I'm just in control of it now.
It's mad that, and you find it all right. Like last night, even though everyone's drinking and you're like,
I enjoy that. Like my issue's not that. My issue's like bevying when I'm fucking just on my own board. Do you know what I mean? Like, so in them thing, because I don't need it for confidence. I don't need it to like socialise.
Yeah.
I'm more present anyway. Like I had loads of conversations last night that like were good. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, people were complimentary and that, and then at the end of the night I could just get in my car and just drive home.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think it's just I don't know. It's more of a conscious decision, but I think
you know what's sad though, mate. There's loads of fellas. I've got mates who are listening who like are similar. They were like, if I didn't drink, I wouldn't see my mates. And there's a social kind of thing of a social pressure to be like.
It's affected loads of relationships, like
100%. I have a beer most evenings when I'm cooking, like a beer or two. But it's just nice, isn't it? You know, like
I don't drink in the house. I don't have any alcohol in the house really.
But that's it. Like what I would do. So if I had like 4 beers, I'd just like, I might as well have a fifth. Do you know what I mean? And then like, you know, and then I'd go to bed, and you're not drunk in the house, but you're like on your way. You're like,
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and go anywhere. But
that's a big. And there's more people who probably admit it who probably want to give up. Yeah. But feel like they can't. So
Alcohol's the hardest thing to give up, mate, because it's so like
it's everywhere.
Everything revolves around it, like, everywhere. And it's the only thing you have to justify not doing. Like loads of people.
What's that great saying? And someone said to me, it's alcohol is the only thing where you can get shit for not doing enough of, or shit for doing too much of.
Yeah.
Well, someone said to me, one of the very like this must have been like March time.
Someone said that.
It was just before we went to Cheltenham. Someone went to me. I said, I'm not drinking. He was like, why? What's up? I was like, nothing. And he was like, why aren't you drinking? I said, just didn't want to do it. And he's like, fucking mad that.
Yeah, it is mad. Do anything else. Like, anything. I'm not getting on the coke today. It's you know.
But I've said someone who else doesn't drink said, don't just think about like he was talking about how socially acceptable alcohol is. He was like, imagine we were just all around here now sniffing coke. Yeah. It's like that's essentially what everyone's doing. And all it is just the fact that it's socially normal.
That's the real pandemic, isn't it? You walk into any pub, Jesus Christ.
Do you know, I said this the other day. Yeah. Do you know what? And it's not. It used to be young drug dealers sniffing their own coke. Now it's like 60-year-old fellas, mate. Everyone's doing it.
I do wonder, right? You know the way loads of people take coke now. I do wonder at what age did these then stop? Because I just can't imagine people I know now who taking coke when they're 70.
Lad, I've seen old fellas now in the boozers doing it. Yeah, like fellas, me dad's age and stuff. They go, look at the match, mate. What does Sam feel old?
Well, you said it to me the other week. I'm so fucking naive, you know.
Yeah, where were we the other week? And we were out with somebody, and he was
he was in London.
We were in London. They were quite clearly charged. We walked out, and he goes, "Fucking lovely that one." I was like, "Where were you?"
Just talking for non-stop.
None of us spoke, and he went to the toilet every 2 minutes. And he's like, "I thought it was sound in there."
It was only when I left him and I thought, "Can I dig out the bag every 2 minutes?"
I might be a bit naive here, but is the match quite bad for it?
Oh,
again, I don't know.
Lad, it is. It is.
I'm like saying I'm naive to it.
Surprised about it because like it's not the one thing I think about it. Like a midday.
I think do you know what I mean? My group of mates who go don't do it, so I'm probably like.
You think a coach isn't that going to the away games?
Oh yeah.
Telling me getting up at 5 a.m. and having a fucking shard. No,
well, again, I speak for my mates. Like we get up and we get on the coach and we load of ale. None of my mates do it, but I'm sure it. Obviously it does go on, but
I think that's it. Just surrounding yourself with the right people, innit?
Yeah, I know there's a pub. I can't remember the pub, and they had to put like in the toilet cubicles, they had to put like AstroTurf on every flat surface.
To
stop people putting coke on the thing and then sniffing it. It's mad, that, isn't it?
Do you know the mad thing about coke and that now though is it's like it's become sort of like a joke, hasn't it? Like people will openly talk about it now. It used to be this undercover.
And people don't hide it anymore. Yeah. People stand there and do it, like not even in the bog.
That's it's a cool thing now, isn't it? It's like, hell, he's got loads of Charlie in. It used to be sort of like, you know, none of us are innocent. I'm not trying to get on a fucking big high horse here, but like it used to be, I've got something there. Do you know what I mean? Now it's like, mad.
Yeah, it is mad, isn't it?
Do you know what else happens?
Go on.
My dog died.
Oh fucking hell! Really? Oh man, that's shit.
Yeah, go to the top.
Do you remember what happened last night, or was you too pissed?
Go on.
The losing team.
Oh yeah.
So
do you remember that?
You get a bonus point in the quiz for the darkest name. So there was a couple of really fucking dark ones. The loser of the whole quiz, this was justified. Their team name was called Oppo's Dead.
Bad, that, isn't it?
And he had to drink.
It's a dark name.
So if they'd have won it, it'd have been really awkward. But I think it was Epstein's Angels that won.
Epstein's Angels.
So
he'd be fucked today, you know.
I know, he's texted me.
Has he?
Yeah.
Is he in the hurt locker?
Yeah, he's struggling. But I think he felt a bit guilty because so the loser of the quiz, out of Andy's old prosthetic, there's a little bit of everything on draft from IPA to Corona, and you have to down it.
There was about 3 pints or something in there. Like,
and
it was a lot.
And he done it, and he took my number and he's texted me this morning. Yeah, but dark name. But do you know what? Because of how personal and dark that was. There was some really fucking close to the mark ones that got away with it.
Yeah.
These are how bad that one was.
Prince Andrew's under 12s didn't go down.
Do you reckon you'll get another dog then?
That
sounds awful, that, doesn't it? But yeah.
No, maybe one day, but not now. No. Nah.
Yeah.
Not yet. I was fucking broken.
I can imagine. Yeah.
To be honest,
shit
couple
of weeks. Oppo went everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, shit, couple of weeks. But even my little girl doesn't want to get one just yet. She's just like. And you know what, mate? I'm actually enjoying. No responsibility.
Well, yeah, and then you can, 100%. You can drink for 5 days and
go out Thursday to what day are we on? Tuesday? What are you doing today?
Do you remember that time when I think you must have been out or something, and you've got that like mobile Hoover thing.
Yeah, shit
everywhere, and then it just.
You told that to me the other day, and everyone was fucking barking and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'd done a shit in the night, and it's hoovered, and it just basically spread shit around the living room. I remember that day, right? I woke up, and I went,
hungover.
Yeah,
I'd just been out. I was hungover.
I woke up, right, and the smell woke me up, and the smell was that bad. I thought he shit in my bed. I'm going. That dog's done shit in my bedroom, that cheeky bastard. And I went, it's not in the bedroom, in the bathroom. Put my leg on, walk down the stairs, and it's getting worse. And I'm going, what the fuck's happening? And I opened the living room, mate, and there was this dog shit bin spread all over the place. And the Hoover was just like, still trying to hoover more shit up.
Don't sign up for the future,
and
people.
The dog,
don't sign up for the future.
The dog was in the hallway just looking at me as if to go, I'm so sorry. Like,
that's mad, isn't
even
it?
I think this stinks, fella.
I had to rip up my hall, like my living room and that.
Because it gone like in the crack things and everywhere.
Bad.
That's diabolical, that.
Oh,
bad.
God.
But you know what it made me think when he did pass away, to think of all like the times we had, and one time made me feel really bad. Is I took him on a walk late at night in the car, and the next morning I wake up and I'm like, where's the dog? This is years back, like when I was back with my ex-girlfriend, and she went, I don't know. I'm like, where is he? I'd left him in the boot all night.
was it
Mate,
not the summer, surely?
No, listen.
Spring.
The worst bit about it though, like he was just so happy to see me.
Oh.
He wasn't like fuming at me, do you know what I mean? He was just like...
What was the one where you didn't you leave him somewhere else once? Andy was a great dog owner. The best trained dog I've ever seen in my life, and that is genuine.
He was incredible, yeah.
That is genuine. Didn't you put him in the garden or something and fall asleep on the couch? You told you like...
Oh yeah, then woke up like 1 a.m, he was sitting outside looking at me.
Yeah, I remember do you know what? I remember you coming in and saying that. Do you know what I've done?
Just watching the telly, I would let him out watching a film, let him out, and I've just sat and fell asleep and woke up. Just turned the telly off, and I'm like, oh, go to bed now. I got him that well trained. He didn't need a lead or nothing.
Mate, it was mad, especially on that busy road where you live as well.
He was like, I've never seen a dog trained as well as that one.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
God.
God bless Oppo.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else, mate, before we wrap up?
No, what time? Because I know we've got to shoot soon, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11:25.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, boys.
A bit more of a regular.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
People will no doubt have enjoyed the catch up.
At least we've quashed the rumours.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's weird, isn't it?
People just love conflict.
I think, like I said before, it's probably a thing of I came off social media as well. So.
Yeah.
Because if people had commented, I'd have commented back or whatever. I mean, people still message and stuff like that, but it's in there. I don't check it, so.
Yeah.
No, boys, you're absolutely smashing it, and
boss, mate.
You're legends, both of you.
Get on your watches. So too many questions, too few answers.
Too many questions, very few answers. So I've done the Stonehenge Summer Solstice one. I'm just editing the UFO one, and then I need to do the Park Life one as well.
Good stuff, man. I want to watch them.
I can't wait for the Swingham one. To be totally honest.
I do. Yeah, the issue is trying to get, because I always say, like at the UFO one, I was like, it's just a university project, which always seems that they just go, oh right, okay, they don't ask any more questions from that. And yeah, the Swingham one will be a bit harder to get filmed, I reckon.
I don't think they want uni students in there.
Last thing, we didn't even say, really apologise for this. Monterex, get on it if you want your discount code. Links in the bio. Veer Clothing, I'm rocking it right now. You get 20% off if you type in leg at 20. Also Health Kit Kitchen. And if you want me to stop you calling, if you want me to stop calling you a minge bag, sign up for Patreon. It's £1 a week. Loads of perks that we spoke about. And yeah,
been a pleasure, boys.
Thank you very much, chaps. All the best.